Well, welcome to my next blog. If you're serious about your winter fishing and you want to know what kit to wear, then stay tuned. This is the blog for you. Well, winter clothing. You know, there's lots of different bits and pieces out there you can buy, and I'm going to try and pass on what's worked for me over the years in my winter fishing. You know, there's nothing worse than setting out your winter campaign and you get cold and you get wet and disheartened and you end up not completing your winter campaign. So be warm will make you fish even more effectively and will put more fish on the bank. So let's look at the kit that I wear. Now, I work on a 3-layer system. Now, it's a very proven system that mountaineering, military, you know, backpackers and fishermen use. You know, it's a 3-layer system. Now, you have a base layer. Now, base layer, the object of that is to keep the base layer as tight to your skin as possible. And what that does is there's a few things that the reason why you have something really tight to your body. And it also matters what material you use as well. There's lots of fishing companies out there that sell sort of like onesies or leggings and bottoms and tops for winter fishing, but they're okay, but they're normally synthetic material. Now I use wool. I use a wool, merino wool base layer. Now what that does, why that's better in my honest opinion than say synthetics, is that one, it wicks the like sweat or water or vapor away from your body, but still keeps your body warm. Now the way you get cold, especially when you're fishing or if you're active, is that you sweat. You know, I mean, how many times have you your feet have got cold when you're fishing in the winter? And that's because they're getting too hot. They're actually too hot. They're sweating, and cold evaporates through clothing, things like cotton. You know, it's the worst thing you can wear in the winter. But as soon as it gets wet, it makes you go really cold, makes you freeze. You know, it just keeps that coldness there. The heat from the body evaporates through. It's a medium, things like cotton. So what you want to do is keep warm, but still wick away that sweat. So merino wool. Look online for merino wool base layers. Now you get bottoms and you get tops. Now because I choose a sort of mountaineering merino wool base layer, it's long at the back, so it keeps your back nice and warm. And the way merino wool works is that it's a natural fibre. It works by, in between all the weaves of the wool, there's little air pockets, and that keeps you warm. You know, your body heat goes into those air pockets, really tight to your skin, and that's what keeps you warm. Plus, it wicks away any moisture, any sweat from where you're setting up or whatever. It wicks it away. That's your base layer. Also, one other thing worth noting as well is that I choose like a zipped base layer. So the reason for that is that I can unzip it and let a bit of heat. If I get too hot when I'm setting up or casting or baiting up or whatever, I can just unzip that and let a bit of the heat out. You know, alleviate it a little bit. That's sweating so much. Also with synthetic fabrics, polyester and cotton and that, is that after a couple of days, if you're fishing for the weekend, the odour, it makes you stink. You know, whereas a natural fibre like wool, you don't notice that odour. That's one of the benefits of it. The cons of it is that it's more expensive than synthetics or man-made products. I mean, I got mine, I looked on eBay, I think it was, or Amazon, and it cost me 50 quid for the tops and the bottoms. But you can go as expensive as you want. Whereas probably you can pick up a top and bottom from a fishing company or a synthetic one for about 30 quid, I think, something like that. Just have a look about. But believe me, go with the merino wool. It keeps you warmer as well than synthetics. So that's your base layer. Mid layer, what I tend to do is, I want something that's baggy. I want something that's baggy because, again, that second layer of heat between your base layer and the second layer, you want to keep that warm. So you want it baggy. You don't want that tight, because you want to make it baggy so so the heat retains in that sort of gap. So I use a pair of sort of like jogging bottoms, but you know, like sort of fleecy line, sort of nice to the touch, rather than thin ones. Nice fleecy like ESP or Fox, or you know, there's loads of companies that do nice jogging bottoms. And a hoodie, whatever hoodie I'm wearing. You know, it's like a hoodie I've got on there. The reason why I want a hoodie, one, it's baggy, it's probably a size or 2 sizes bigger in the winter for me, to keep that warmth, that heat, the air in between the 2 layers. So I want the hood. So I just stick the hood up. Even when I'm lying in bed, or you know, I'm standing out, I can just put that hood up. It just keeps your head so much warmer. If it gets really cold, then I'll get a heavy duty pair of bottoms, you know, joggers, and a heavier duty hoodie. I mean, you can get those, not just fishing companies like Fox do the chunk range, and there's a few different fishing companies that do really heavy ones, you know, but there's, just have a look at eBay for like heavy duty hoodies or joggers or whatever. So that's the second layer. Now, third layer that I use, I want a really good quality coat and bottoms as well. Now, I've got a Fortis SJ9 jacket, I think it's called, you know, as warm as toast. You know, it's made by Snugpack, who've been making products to keep you warm, like sleeping bags, jackets, bottoms, you know, fleeces. They've made them for years and years and years, and this is a softy version. This is by Fortis. For my bottoms, I use these. Have a look at these. Now, these are military issue. Trouser, thermal, reversible. These are military issue, and you can probably pick them up. I found these on eBay for about 20 quid, 15, 20 quid, which is nothing. So do a search on military thermal reversible bottoms. One side is green, and the inner is like a sandy colour, for like in the desert that they use, that they're issued with. Again, they're really, really warm because they trap the air in between the two, just like the Fortis jacket. You know, I think another jacket I used to wear, which is along the same principle, is the ESP one. I think it's called a bivvy suit. You know, that's the top, that's the jacket as well, which is really, really good, really, really warm. Hood on it as well. This hood's essential, just to give you that extra little bit of warmth. What I will say is the softy bottoms, the military ones, and the Fortis ones, they're not waterproof. So if you're looking for something that's waterproof, these two items are not the one. What I do, if I want to stand out in the pouring rain, is I still have these, the softy bottoms and the Fortis jacket on, but I've got a set of Gore-Tex military DPM waterproof bottoms and top, which a very kind friend of mine, Mike Bridges, gave me many years ago, and they last you forever. You know, that's got a hood in it as well, and a big zip up thing, and pockets and inside pockets and all that. So that will keep you, this will keep you warm, but that will keep you dry as well. So and the good thing about these jackets and bottoms and the Gore-Tex bottoms and top is that they wrap up really small. You just stick them in your rucksack or stick them in your bag or whatever. So there's the sort of 3-layer system that, you know, you want the layers, because what you're trying to do is trap the air in between those 3 layers, and your body's heating that air up so it keeps you warm, but not sweating too much, because the way water is a conductor for heat. So what it does is it draws out all the heat the water does. So there's your 3 layers. Now, something else which is worth mentioning, which is really, really important, and where you lose most of your heat, and that's your head, your hands and your feet. So let's take feet first. It's always worth buying a decent pair of waterproof Gore-Tex lined, or a set of, you know, it's worth spending the money out for them. I've got a pair of baffing boots that I use when it gets really cold. I mean, I've got normal boots on at the moment, but I've got some baffing boots, which is just, you know, the best boot I've ever used to keep your feet warm. My feet just do not get cold. You know, they're expensive. They're about 150 quid, I think, but I've had them for almost 10 years and they haven't worn out. Whereas before I was buying, you know, after 2 or 3 years, you'd have to buy another set of boots, another 50, 60, 70 quid, and it's just a waste of money. They're good for the time being, but looking at the bigger picture, the longer picture, get yourself a pair of those baffing boots. They are the best. Socks. Now, your cotton socks that you use for sports, and you know, your white ones or your green ones or whatever, don't use them in the winter, because what they do is they make your feet sweat. In those type of boots that we're using for the winter to keep your feet warm, they're going to make your feet sweat and they're going to get cold. That is why your feet get cold. Get yourself a decent pair of merino wool socks. Now here's a pair I've got there, look. Here's a pair, look. They're not thick or bulky, they're just right, nice and thin. About 20 quid I think, something like that. But again, they don't make your feet smell because they're a natural product, and they trap any warm air in the natural fibres. But what they also do is they wick away any moisture, they wick it away out of your boot, so they keep your feet dry and warm. So look out for those merino wool socks, about 20 quid a pair. Get yourself a couple of pairs, wear a pair, and if you get a booty or they get wet, you've always got those other pair to put on after you've dried your feet out and you're 100% brand new again. Right, hat. Very important. I'm not really one for wearing hats because I get lots of migraines and headaches, but a beanie type hat like this is invaluable in the winter because you lose so much heat from your head. It's a must, you've got to have it, just in case you're starting to feel a little bit cold. Bang that out and I guarantee you'll feel warmer after a while. You know, you can sit out and you put your hood up over the top, you put your other hood, you know, I've got two hoods here, bang them up, and it just makes you feel so much brand new again. Gloves. Now, you don't see many carp fishermen wearing gloves, do you? There's obviously casting and putting hooks, bait on and all that sort of stuff. But very, very occasionally I'll take a set of gloves with me. If it's freezing cold and the wind, just bang them on. It just improves your circulation and it will warm you up no end. So let's have a little recap. It's to keep yourself warm in the winter. 3-layer system. Base layer, merino wool, base layer, mid layer, hoodie, a chunky hoodie or a heavy duty hoodie, but a couple of sizes too big for you, so you can trap that air inside. 3rd layer, real nice, warm, decent, quality down jacket, or I think this is polyester or something like that, but it's absolutely it's just proper warm. Softy bottoms or faultless bottoms or a bib and brace type of bottoms, put those on as well. They keep you even more snuggly and it vents everything out, so it's breathable. All 3 of those are breathable, so any cold from the wet or sweat or anything, it gets pushed away in time. Hat, keep your head warm. Gloves, take them with you. Don't need to wear them all the time unless you're feeling a little bit chilly, but it makes a big difference. The hat, the gloves and the socks, merino wool socks as well. Get yourself a set of those and a decent set of warm boots, and that system will keep you warm all winter. You will not get cold, I guarantee it. That 3-layer system with your waterproofs if you need them. I don't tend to need them. I'm warm enough and I don't tend to want to stand out in the rain in the freezing cold anyway. So there you go. There's some tips, some advice, some, I wouldn't call them edges, some essentials really for keeping yourself warm in the winter, make you fish more effectively, because if you're more effective you'll catch more fish. You'll be able to move, you'll be able to instead of sulking there thinking I'm going to go home. Now, if you like these videos and tips and advice and blogs and a bit about my fishing, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, put any comments in there from you guys. I really do want you, if possible, put comments in there to, so if you like it, if you don't like it, if it's helped you, and any suggestions on other videos or other subjects on other bits of fishing to do for the winter, summer, spring, whatever. Please put them in there, and I'll try and incorporate them in some of these vlogs. Some of these videos. It's all about you guys anyway. So there you go. Subscribe. Like and share if it's on Facebook or Twitter, like it, and I hope you really enjoy it. Tune in for my next vlog.